Rodney is once again offering us an icebreaker speech. The feedback on his last one was that we didn't get to know him as well as we might have. So today, he's going to discuss one of his hobbies, car repair. He'll explain how he goes about working on a 100-year-old car. On 100-year-old cars. Is that a plural? Let's welcome Rodney. It's 46 minutes.
You didn't even shave.
Okay, technically, it's not 100 years old. Technically, it's only 95 years old. And technically, it's not one car, it's actually 5 cars.
Oh, that's what that number was doing it. Okay.
How many of you have ever had a car breakdown on you? Did you pay the mechanic to fix it? I used to pay the mechanic to fix my cars. I used to have this old 1978 Ford F-250. I described it as mostly green. And I love that truck, but it broke down. When I got ready to sell it, I asked my mechanic how much he thought I should list it for. And he said, well, based on how much you put into it, probably 10 or 12,000. But somehow, in the last few years, I have become a car guy. I'm not even really sure how it happened, but I found I'm not at all intimidated by car repairs anymore. Several years ago, I was making a trip to Sacramento, and I was going to be there a week, so I decided I was going to take my Chevy Suburban. Somewhere in northern Nevada, it quit on me. The fuel pump went out. It was $1,000 to get it fixed. Later, I was telling that story to my aunt, and she said, you should have called us. We're good with fuel pumps. And it's not that I didn't believe her, but I didn't really believe her. It was a $1,000 repair. 2 weeks ago, I replaced the fuel pump in my son's 1992 Chrysler New Yorker. Now, on that particular car, to replace the fuel pump, you have to siphon out all of the gas, and then you have to drop the fuel tank to get access to the fuel pump. Once I got it all put back together, 3 days later, the fuel pump went out on my 1994 Dodge Dakota. Now with the Dodge Dakota, you don't have to drop the fuel tank, but you do have to remove the bed. I removed the entire pickup bed, and then the access to the fuel pump is really easy. Would have been $2,000 worth of car repairs. I did it for probably $300 in parts. In fact, my 1996 Lexus is sitting in my driveway right now, waiting on me to replace its fuel pump. I find I have enjoyed my new hobby of working on old cars and keeping them running. Obviously, the cost savings is a big benefit. My dad used to say, everybody makes a car payment. You either pay the bank or you pay the mechanic. I found that if you're a do-it-yourselfer, as I am, there's now a third option. You pay the auto parts store. Now, my son's 92 Chrysler is probably worth $500 or $600. The vinyl top is all ripped up. It was in a few accidents before he got it. Last summer, it needed a new power steering pump and an alternator. It's about $800 worth of repairs, more than the car was worth. I did it for maybe $200 in parts. My daughter's 2001 Honda Civic was recently involved in a minor fender bender. Unfortunately, it was her fault. Fortunately, nobody was injured. But her car ended up with a crumpled hood, broken headlights, and a mangled top radiator support arm. Estimate probably $2,000 to get that repaired at a mechanic shop. It's currently sitting up on blocks in my driveway as I'm working on it. And that's the second thing I like about working on car repairs is I get to learn new things. YouTube is great, and I use it a lot, but most of the diagnosis and the repair is actually learn as you go. So I am learning to use a grinder to grind off the welds, because the top radio support arm is spot welded to the frame. So I'm learning new things. But more than the cost savings or the learning new things, I have found that car repairs are my happy place. My job is I'm a program manager. That means I work at the intersection of people, computers, and problems. Most of my job involves the phone, email, and Skype. And I enjoy my job, but I also occasionally enjoy getting out in the driveway with an old car and a socket wrench. Probably why I own old cars. My son's 92 Chrysler is 26 years old. My Dodge Dakota, 24 years old. My Lexus, 22 years old. My daughter's Honda, 17 years old. Our new car is my wife's 2012 van. Add up all of those and it comes to 95 years. Next year, it will be 100 years. And hopefully, I will finally have them all running at the same time.